What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Color Scheme Breakdown. This is a series in which I talk entirely too long about a particular color scheme in question. I break down what it is, giving you the rundown of the colors involved, obviously. I go over a little bit of history about it, if there's anything worth noting history-wise. And then I just thought ramble on it, giving my overall thoughts, opinions, likes, and dislikes, and so on. And then from there, to kind of close things off, I do a basic kind of thought process into how I would achieve said color scheme. I haven't done everything, right? But I've done enough painting in general to have an idea of how I would approach certain things, especially things I would find a bit difficult. And as a result, what I do personally is I try to look for processes or things I can do that help make it feel like I've done more than I actually have for painting to get a nice, clean, efficient look. Outside of that, just some closing thoughts. So let's have some fun with it. I enjoyed doing Thokt Dynasty last time, so I want to do another Necron Dynasty here. So up on the chopping block is the Thokt Dynasty. Now, Thokt Dynasty is actually really cool, and if we didn't have a Metfrit in concept, harnessing the captured sun energy and stuff like that, Thokt would probably be the route I would look towards. So the Thokt Dynasty is I guess you could call it a minor or a lesser Necron dynasty. It's not one of the big ones out there, but it's still very cool. They are another dynasty that does not use traditional green energy for their equipment or anything like that. Which, nothing against the Necron green. It's really cool, but this is another avenue to go out there and do what you will. So, having said that, the color scheme, again, as with most Necron dynasties, cannot be fully seen on the warrior. The humble Necron warrior does not represent everything that can be done for that dynasty's coloration. So just keep that in mind. But we'll talk Necron warrior first, and then we'll talk what the rest of the dynasty could look like. So the Necron warrior looks really close to a lot of other Necron warriors from other dynasties, but in this case, its metallic body is more of a dull silver, which is a really good way to describe it. And then the central ankh area of the chest is black with a blue ankh on it. Their weapons are black. Their Necron energy, if you will, is a blue. It is a rather, they call it a sparking blue energy, but it's kind of a more vibrant blue, which is really cool. The reason for this is because their energy is radioactive power from the void rifts that surround them. Basically, they channel and harness this and bring it into their essence. So, as a byproduct, this power looks barely contained. So their energy is a bit more vibrant if you so desire to do that. But this blue radiates out of them. Their eyes glow blue. Their weaponry glows blue, whether it's melee or ranged. Any divots in their armor, any cracks, whether it be battle damage or just, panel gaps, if you will, could glow blue as the energy emanates out of them. It's potent radiation. Now, we could say that this radiation is way more powerful than anything we ever documented on planet Earth, because this is 40K and these are the most advanced tech beings out there, the Necrons. So this radiation from the void energy around them, that is also sparkling blue energy, could be many factors above the strongest radiation that we know of, because it's sci-fi. So with that said, they emanate it, which is actually really cool, and this is why they're able to have a lot more glow effects happening to them, because this energy just pulses and radiates out of them. They don't lose it. They're not being consumed by it. It's just that it crackles and kind of writhes in their mechanical forms and not just their weapons and their eyes, which is pretty cool. So, having said that, though, that's not the entire look of the Thokt Dynasty. That's their energy, and that's their basic Necron warrior. The one other, I guess we could say official look we've seen for them is the Necron Immortal. And this is really cool because the Necron Immortal looks almost nothing like a Necron warrior. In place of that dull silver body, we have a body that's nearly fully black. the head has a stripe of black on it, and then you could do the rest of the head either in that dull silver or in more of a gray. Their bodies also seem to have some parts of them that glow blue, as if this energy is emanating out of them a little bit. You can do that as you desire. So this gray, this black, and this dull silver, plus the blue energy, is what you basically have as your color palette for the Thokt Dynasty. And I've seen plenty of you could say, interpretations of this for vehicles. Which, from Tomb Blades to transports to the Triarch Stalker and everything else, there's people out there who have really taken this and ran with it, and your Overlord can look pretty cool as well, because they can be really heavily done in the black armored up body look of the Immortal with whatever else you're doing. In essence, you can kind of sort of do the Tron effect, right, of having really dark armor with a bright blue glow for these guys, and would work perfectly, as this energy is sparkling and crackling and emanating from their body like that. So that works really well. With that being said, it is quite jarring though, because the basic warrior is a dull silver, and then you could almost have 0 dull silver applied to anybody else. So I do recommend, if you are going to go that route of really, of the Thokt Dynasty, using some of the dull silver in place of the gray in certain places to just help tie it all together. But in any case, I really like this look. It's a very cool look. It's really menacing. It's not heated. It's more because it's blue. It's kind of a cooler tone, but it still looks dangerous and techy. Because of Tron, the Tron movies and stuff, you kind of have that type of almost feel and influence going on here, which is still cool, because that's still techy and whatever else. And with the blue energy, it really allows your resurrection orbs and your scythes and your ranged weapons to really feel like great pop color going on, right? Because the color scheme is actually rather dark for the Thokt Dynasty, from a dull silver to the black and the gray and everything else. And it really allows you to play with how much object source lighting you want to do with this energy, how bright or how much crackle effect you want to add to it and everything else, which is pretty cool, and where you want it to emanate from their body, if at all. So really cool things all around. I don't think it would be a color scheme that's necessarily too hard to do at a decent pace either, right? It's not that it's a simple basic color loadout. It's not, right? Black can be hard to do really nicely. You got to do it tastefully with the dull silver and the gray and the blue energy, but it's one of those color schemes that I feel can definitely go at a decent pace once you get a feel for it. In any case, really cool. I really like it. And there's things you can do with their bases when you start to paint them up that I think really allow for a lot of fun and creativity, because of the radiation that they emanate from all of their energy. So let's talk a little bit about painting them up. Dull silver, it's not hard, but doing a dulled metallic is something that really needs to be hinted at, because the moment you try and darken it too much, it feels dirty or carbonized or otherwise kind of just mucky and corroded. And we're not looking for that. We're just looking to take that silver sheen and tone it down. So actually using silver paint might not be the play here. Using like an iron paint over lead belcher might be, or doing a silver with a very watered down black wash over it, or maybe even a brown wash or a combination, just watering it down and testing it to get that dulled feel that doesn't feel dirty, dingy, or burnt. Black, you could do the contrast method, which looks great. You could do extreme highlighting, which also works. You could also almost forego highlights in certain areas if you're having blue energy emanate from underneath it. In any case, it's not hard to do black effectively and quickly, but there are many ways to do black armor, some of which are really complicated or take a lot longer. So it's up to you. The gray is a nice additional touch, although for me personally, just to further link it to the Necron Warriors, I may have dull silver in more places than the gray. Maybe gray for the vehicles, dull silver for the infantry. Doing the blue, again, you can do the contrast method, you can do contrast mixed with standard method of layering or dry brushing. There is different ways to do the blue. How bright do you make the blue for yourself? Again, is up to you. Just because it emanates doesn't mean it has to glow out as object source lighting. You don't need to OSL it. You can just have it emanate and be energy that's there, which also works. So with that said, it's not going to be crazily complex, but the more you want to do and effects you want to do and try out for the Thokt concept of the blue energy and everything else, you can go crazy with it and have a lot of fun. Now, they're emanating radiation, and we can do kind of the pop culture video gamey type stuff with this, right? We could have the fact that they're radiating a lot of radiation, and this radiating energy could mess up vegetation around them on their base, right? Especially on the bigger bases. You can have a bit more fun with it and almost have like footsteps, like radiation burn in the ground of how much they're emanating, especially from their immortals or their HQs or whatever else. Now, obviously, we have to kind of rein ourselves in a little bit because they don't have extra special rules for stuff like this. Although some of the dynastic code stuff you could definitely use to represent this. But we don't want to make it super crazy where it's like, how could anything get close and not just die because they're emanating such radiation? But this is 40K, things are over the top, and we don't have to really explain ourselves away with real science. Again, we're talking about robotic-bodied biotransference Xenos that are super technologically advanced, so much so it seems like magic, and space orcs, and Tyranids from beyond the galaxy, and the warp. So, you get a really generous pass on a lot of things when it comes to 40K and how you're representing it. So, in any case, though, you could do great things on the models, and then you could translate that into the bases that you're using or display board that you're using. They really showcase that they are just destroying whatever they come across because of this power that they harness. In any case, that's my thoughts on the Thokt Dynasty. Really cool as a concept. Really cool effects you could do because of the nature of their energy and how it emanates and how it's heavy potent radiation or whatever else. So that's my thoughts. Pretty cool stuff. Do you collect the Thokt Dynasty? Do you want to? Have you painted them up? Have you done anything with the radiation concept? Share it in the comment section down below. And until next time, take it easy.